nowadays NPM has used as the default package manager for JavaScript applications. Because of this ubiquity, NPM has become really popular. So if you think about some numbers, we can see that there are around 600,000 JavaScript libraries, maybe small components in NPM are there. Good evening all. First of all, I would like to thank Colombo Security Meetup Group and 99X for organizing this event and hosting this event. I'm, as Nirosh mentioned, I'm Deepal Jayasekera. I'm Senior Software Engineer at Sysco LABS. So today in this talk, I would like to talk about NPM and how NPM made us look at information security in a new perspective. So what is NPM? I'm pretty sure that if you are a JavaScript developer or a Node.js developer, you might definitely have used NPM as one of your development tools. And even if you are not a JavaScript developer, you may have even heard of what NPM is. So what is NPM? So a couple of years ago, if you are going to develop a JavaScript application, you might have had to assemble things together. But it was really difficult. Of course, when it comes to the third-party libraries, there were some libraries available, but it's a bit hard to put them together, maintain them and manage their versions. So after the introduction of NPM, now the things are simpler. So first NPM was introduced as the default package manager of Node.js back in 2010, I guess. But nowadays NPM has used as the default package manager for JavaScript applications. So if you are going to develop a JavaScript application right now, most of your applications components are already developed and are available in NPM as building blocks. So what you have to do is just pull those building blocks together, assemble them together and start building your JavaScript application. So it's things are a bit easier now. So with this ease of use, NPM has become really popular. So the main reason is JavaScript itself has been so popular among developers because it has become 100% full stack technology. So let's look at some numbers. So if you go to GitHub, JavaScript owns the largest number of open source repositories right now, and the second place is held by Python. It's around JavaScript is twice popular in GitHub than Python, which holds the second place. So when it comes to most popular programming language, according to Stack Overflow survey in 2017, JavaScript is the most popular programming language among developers. And JavaScript applications, JavaScript libraries such as React front-end framework and Node.js back-end framework are really popular and they rule the most loved frameworks list in Stack Overflow survey 2017. Also, when we think about language popularity based on the same survey results, JavaScript has around 8% of growth in popularity since 2013. Where Node.js has around 18% of growth since 2013 to 2017. So when you think about these statistics, you can see how much those are popular. So let's talk about NPM now. So we now know that NPM is the default package manager of Node. So because of this ubiquity, Node.js, NPM has become really popular. So if you think about some numbers, we can see that there are around 600,000 packages, 600,000 JavaScript libraries, maybe small components in NPM are there. And also when you think about per week downloads, it's around 3 billion downloads per week. So NPM has become really popular. Talking about growth of open source module registries, when it comes to Java, Maven, you can see the growth difference. So the red curve displays the NPM package manager, which has almost around twice growth compared to Maven, which holds the second place. And the growth, when you think about growth again, so the NPM 535 NPM packages are daily added to NPM. So the second place is run by PHP packagist, package manager. It's around 125 per day. So the people are getting really familiar with NPM, and they are really interacting fast, and they are working with publishing new modules. Because of this reason, NPM has become more popular. So why do we have to even talk about NPM security? So the main reason is because of its popularity. So the basic problem with NPM and open source packages are there's no trust between the developer and the publisher who published the module. So this is the basic problem. So when you think about NPM packages, there are around 600,000 packages. In my honest opinion, more than half of those packages are either empty packages or broken packages or vulnerable packages with known vulnerabilities or malicious packages. So this is the problem with NPM, Node Package Manager, because there's no one to verify, review individual packages. So let's look at some previous incidents which shook the JavaScript community because of these kind of activities. So the first one I'm going to talk about is left pad. This is not actually a vulnerability or a malicious package itself. This is merely an incident happened related to NPM. So this is the story. So there was a package called Kick published by a certain developer. Later a company named Kick came forward and they wanted this package name. But the developer who published the package has already taken the name Kick. So the company wanted to transfer the ownership of Kick to their company. Then they contacted the developer via email to get asking for a transfer of ownership. But the developer didn't agree with it. So of course he didn't know whether there's a company called Kick by the time he published it. But however, the only choice that the company had was to reach NPM directly via their lawyers. So they did that. Based on the package name dispute policy, NPM force transferred the package name, ownership of the package name to the company called Kick. So this was a bit frustrating and heartbreaking for the developer. So he retaliated by unpublishing all the packages that he had previously published into NPM. So what happened? So among these unpublished packages, there was a small tiny utility package called left pad, which only does padding certain amount of letters in front of a given string. So this is a tiny package. But the problem is this package has been used by many open source packages in the world, so including many major libraries. After unpublishing this package, worldwide all the builds started to fail because they can't install the package because the package is simply not there. So after that, another developer came forward and published a local copy of left pad into NPM. After this, the issue was resolved, but later NPM introduced an unpublished policy to prevent people unpublishing packages like this. So, but the risk was there. Luckily, we don't have this risk right now. So let's look at another package, another incident. It is cross-n. So there was this popular library called cross-n, which is used mainly to share environment variables across different platforms like Linux and Windows. So this package was so popular, and a rogue developer implemented a package without the hyphen in the middle, but the similar name without the hyphen in the middle. So there are two packages. The original package is cross-n, the malicious package is cross-n. normally when people install a package, they just npm install the package name. So if you miss the hyphen, you end up installing a malicious package. So what this cross-send malicious package did was, they steal environment variables from your local application running environment, and they send this package sent those environment variables to a hacker server. So immediately this was identified by a user's tweet by NPM. They identified the issue and they immediately removed it, but the risk is there still. Anybody can, so if you download a package and use the package in your application, you don't know whether the package is making any HTTP request calls. So if this is a front-end library, you can check whether using the network panel, whether there are any calls being made to any other servers. But if this is a backend library, you can't really identify. So to see that, you need to just use a proxy or something, logging or something, or you need to static analyze the code. So this is the second incident. And the third incident is rimraffle. So this is a package developed by a particular developer just to demonstrate how dangerous npm install could be. So when it comes to npm packages, there's this concept called pre-install hooks. What pre-install hook does is, when you npm install, the pre-install hook command is run first. So in this package, they have the package has the pre-install hook rm-rf root. So you know what the command does is, right? So you don't need to use the package, just simply installing the package could wipe out your hard drive. So this is a really dangerous command. So NPM also immediately removed this, but the developer's intention was not to harm anybody, and his readme file also contained don't install this package. This is only to demonstrate how dangerous NPM could be. But when you think about this situation again, anybody can install a script like a keylogger or any kind of environment variable hijacking malware or any kind of script that runs in your machine. You don't know. So what else do we have? So I talked about 3 situations where npm packages or in the actions users do with npm can harm your applications. So not only these, but also there are a number of packages with known security vulnerabilities. So when it comes to code, you can introduce a bug. So if you publish it into npm and somebody else uses it, that bug becomes one of their bugs, because you are transferring a vulnerability from your code to another person's code. If you are installing something from npm, you should be careful, because there are known vulnerable modules which can put your applications at risk. So the main type of attacking point the attackers use is typosquatting. So this is the same situation that as you saw in cross-send. Typosquatting is exploiting users' typing mistakes. So normally the most people, let's say that you are going to install something like Express. Express is the most popular API framework among Node.js developers. So if you are going to install Express, let's say you run it as npm install express.js, but the real module name is Express. What you should do is npm install Express. But when you run the command npm install express.js, you end up being installing some kind of other package. It may be a malware or a broken package or some kind of vulnerable package. So you need to be careful. So attackers use this kind of typo vulnerabilities, typing mistakes, in order to install malicious malware, as we saw in cross-send. And also the other most common type of vulnerability that we see in Node.js packages, npm packages, is regular expression denial of service. The main attack point the attackers use to attack your application using this vulnerability is JavaScript being single threaded. So as if you are a JavaScript developer, you might know that JavaScript is single threaded. So there's only thread that you don't need to block it. So if you are going to block the thread, the application will eventually be unresponsive. So the easiest way to keep your main thread busy is evaluating regular expressions. So regular expression evaluation entirely runs on CPU right now. So when there are certain regular expressions which are susceptible to certain inputs. Let's say for an example, there are 4 regular expressions, small snippets that I displayed here. So if you are using any of these vulnerable regex, these regular expressions are vulnerable and they will take an exponentially great amount of time to complete the evaluation. So let's say that you are using one of these in your project. So if a person sends, it might be an attacker or a usual user, send a specially crafted string and you take that string to evaluate against your regular expression, you end up blocking your thread. So eventually your application will become unresponsive without being capable of serving other people's requests. So the main characteristic of vulnerable regular expressions is repeated groups, and within that repeated group there can be another repetition or another alteration with overlapping features. So when it comes to the first two, we can see there are groups. Within the group, there are groups with repetitions, and within the group, there's another repetition. So these are vulnerable to regular expression denial of service attacks. So in the second case, you can see that there are regular expressions. There's a group with repetition, and within the group, there's an alteration, but the alteration is overlapped. So in the first case, A and AA, it's overlapped. The second case, A and optional A, it's also overlapped. So these kind of regular expressions will eventually take a huge, immense amount of time to evaluate certain strings. So eventually your application will be under denial of service. That's not all. There are many more vulnerabilities in NPM packages according to nodesecurity.io. Nodesecurity.io is an organization who performs static analysis of NPM packages. So they have disclosed a certain set of vulnerable packages and their vulnerabilities in their website. You can check them yourself by visiting nodesecurity.io/adversaries. And based on them, they have disclosed multiple vulnerable packages. One is remote code execution vulnerability in PG. PG is a package related to PostgreSQL, so which can lead to a remote code execution of your application. So if you are using PG, the vulnerable version of this package, anybody can execute an arbitrary maliciously crafted code inside your server. And also directory traversal vulnerabilities, which are more common in the libraries which create servers, and also a silently running cryptocoin miner. So once you install this package, it will eventually install a cryptocoin miner. So even if you don't know, even if you are not using the application, the cryptocoin miner will run in your local machine, or the server, consuming your CPU resources. And also cross-site scripting vulnerabilities, which are really common. This vulnerability was available in Restify. Restify is one of I guess this is the second largest API framework, only second to Express.js. And also arbitrary file read, which means attackers could be able to retrieve sensitive files from your server using your application's API. And also environment variable hijacking, as we saw in cross-env example, SQL injection, command injection, which was there in Sysco LABS library, which essentially was a ORM package for Node.js when you use MySQL, and also most dangerous types of heap-based buffer overflow in the library called libyaml. So this heap-based buffer overflow in libyaml is something similar to XML bomb, if you have heard about XML bomb attack. So this is something similar. So eventually your application's heap become full, and it will lead to arbitrary code execution. Okay, so now we know that there are a lot of vulnerabilities in NPM packages, and also that I didn't mention that there might be broken packages with known bugs, and also there might be empty packages that you can't simply use them. So what do you do? So how do you keep your application safe from packages with these kind of vulnerabilities or malicious intents? So this is one of the tweets that one of my friends was tweeting. NPM must be the most ridiculous thing ever happened to programming. So is it the case? So when you think about internet, if you install an exe file from internet which appeared to be a malware, or if you download maybe a zip file which is appeared to be a scam or broken, do you blame internet? So you can't really do that, right? Because internet is not responsible, it's your responsibility to know what you install. So the main fact that you should remember is you are responsible for what you require. So this when it comes to an NPM package, this is a package from somebody else. So you don't know whether the package is reliable or not, because you or not one of your colleagues didn't implement the package. So because of that, you should know what you install. So you can't just simply npm install anything that you might see valid. So you need to check whether this is the library that I need to install. So otherwise, you will be end up being a target of a Typosquatter. And also do a background check on the module that you are using. So this is really simpler, because if you are going to use someone else's code, you should have enough time to check whether the code is correct. So the best example, the best way to check this is go to NPM and check the number of downloads. If the library appears to be popular, so it might be the package might be good. Otherwise, people won't use it. So you can't say that if there are no enough number of downloads, you can't say, obviously say the package is broken. But if the number of downloads is greater, you can fairly guess that this package is good. And also the dependencies used. So if there are dependencies with known vulnerabilities that you know, you can't trust the package, because the package you are going to install uses one of those malicious or vulnerable packages. And also GitHub source code. Just go to the GitHub source code of the package. If the code is smaller, of course you can do a quick static analysis of the code. And also you can check out the number of stars of the package, and also number of forks and existing issues, whether there are any security issues in the current version, you can check them out. And if this is boring, one thing you can do is use one of the tools that are available in internet. So there are certain tools like web applications, web services you can use to check the quality of NPM packages. So one of those tools I have used is npms.io, and there's another tool called npmsearch.com you can use. And also there's a tool called snike.io and NSP command line tool, which I will show examples later on. So this is npms.io. So when you're going to install a package, what you can just do is type the package name in npms.io. So based on the GitHub statistics and number of forks, number of downloads in NPM and existing issues, they will give a numeric value of the quality of the package. So in this example, the package architect, they have given a score of 31. So which means it is unreliable, and also they have flagged that package as unstable. So this is a tool that you can use before installing the package in your application. Just do a background check using this tool. And also there's a tool called snike.io. You can integrate your GitHub or Bitbucket or whatever your version system that they have supported. They have lot of integrations like GitHub Enterprise, GitLab, Bitbucket Server. So after that, using their web interface, you can check whether there are any known vulnerabilities. This is something similar to what we see in the vulnerability scanning tools. So this is an example. The NodeGoat project is developed by OS community itself. This is an intentionally vulnerable application in order to learn vulnerabilities. So in this example, you can see there's a command injection vulnerability. So they display, they show us the severity of the vulnerability, how do you apply in remediations, how you should upgrade this module in order to prevent being hacked. Also, if you are when you are using, so in the previous cases I showed you how to do a background check of a module. So let's say that you have already a set of packages that you have already installed in your machine. So you can check whether there are any known vulnerabilities in these packages using this tool called NSP. So NSP was developed by Node Security IO, which I mentioned a couple of slides ago. So they have a database of known vulnerabilities in NPM packages. So if there are any package which is vulnerable to one of the vulnerabilities that they have in their database, they will display it here. And also they will give a link to see more info. So this tool can be integrated into your development workflow as well. So when you are, let's say that you are during the build process, you can run this command, and if there's a vulnerability, you can make the build fail. Okay, so I'm summarizing what we have discussed so far. NPM is the largest open source package repository in the world, and also the fastest growing package repository. So due to this popularity, NPM has become a really vulnerable place and a launch pad to initiate attacks to your application. So rule of thumb is know what you install, do a background check, and if you have installed anything malicious or anything vulnerable without knowing, so you might not have heard about these tools before. So if you have applications, JavaScript applications that you have developed so far, just go home, use a tool such as NSP, and check whether there are known vulnerabilities in your packages, and be safe. So that's it for my presentation. So if you have any questions, I would like to answer.